Hey everyone, it's Eric Lagaikis from Explore the Mouse podcast, and we have a special opportunity for you. We are seeking a Disney-based business to build a brand partnership with. Whether you sell on Etsy, Instagram, Facebook, or your own private website, we want to work with you. The goal is to cross-promote each other's brands on all platforms, including our website, explorethemouse.com, and our weekly podcast, which can be heard on iTunes, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. If you're interested, please contact us at explorethemouse@gmail.com by February 20th with your business name, type of product, and your target market. We look forward to having a great working relationship with you. Have a great day.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome. Disneyland is your land. Here age relives fond memories of the past, and here youth may savor the challenge and promise of the future. Disneyland is dedicated to the ideals, the dreams, and the hard facts that have created America.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Explore the Mouse podcast, a podcast by Disney lovers for Disney lovers. Come join us as we dive into the wonderful world of Disney. Here is your host, Eric Lagaikis.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Explore the Mouse podcast. I'm your host, Eric Lagaikis, alongside my beautiful wife and my beautiful daughter, Harlow.
Hi, guys. I'm back.
Casey is back on the show. We're trying to figure this parenting thing out.
Well, it's kind of hard right now. She's a little over 2.5 weeks.
Should be 3 weeks and 2 days.
Yeah.
So
currently I'm laying down. She's laying on my chest. And I've got the microphone hooked up because this is the only way I can record right now. So we're doing what we got to do.
We've been trying to record for a couple days now. And schedule-wise, with the baby wanting to eat and all these different things, we just couldn't do it. So I told Casey, I said, it's Monday. We release an episode on Monday. I was like, we have to record. And she kind of just fell asleep on Casey's chest. And we said, let's do it. So we are figuring out this whole parenting thing. And I think we're doing fairly well. Let's just go with that.
If you're curious as to what I look like right now, I'll be throwing this picture. I just took a picture. I'll be throwing it up on my Instagram, my personal Instagram later. So check it out. Make sure you tag the Explore the Mouse podcast so people will be able to see it. For sure.
But today we find, like, part of the intro, which is Walt Disney, welcome everyone to Disneyland. It finally comes true. We are going to the West Coast.
Yeah.
We're going to your backyard this episode. And we are going to be talking about Disney's California Adventure.
I'm so excited, guys.
Check this out. I found this on the internet.
Sir, he's in. Buzz Lightyear confirming. There is indeed a neighboring park.
Easy, Buzz.
Heads up. I see their leader.
Greetings, 100-foot grizzly bear. I comment. A giant apparatus is lifting entire families, and alien life forms are everywhere.
So I was searching and I was trying to find some cool stuff, and I found the original commercial from California Adventure,
That's so cool.
which I've actually never seen before. So it was really cool. It had all the characters from Toy Story, and even some of the classic characters too. And it was really cool to kind of see them go over, and they were looking at soaring and the Bugs Life area. And all these different cool things. So it was actually really cool to see. But we are going to your neck of the woods, and we're going to California Adventure.
If this is your guys' first time here, or it's, I don't know, one of your most recent times here, and you haven't heard me talk before, because I wasn't in the last 2 episodes. No. Sorry, I was a little busy. But Disneyland and California Adventure are my favorite parks. I still love Walt Disney World, but West Coast is the best coast as far as the parks go. Eric's rolling his eyes.
Yada, yada.
I'm completely biased towards West Coast, so I'm super excited to be talking about California Adventure. I'm not as well versed in California Adventure as I feel like I am in Disneyland, but I can definitely talk a lot about it. Yeah.
Well, I feel this is going to be an interesting episode for us because you have been there more than I have. I've only been there one time in my whole life, but
It's changed a lot.
Since we have been there, it has completely changed. So we have not seen the new California Adventure yet.
Yeah.
There was bits and pieces of it that we did get a chance to see, but that's pretty much about it. It's completely changed over, and we'll talk about that a little bit. But give us like your insight, because you know California Adventure better than I do. Give us your insight of that park.
Okay, so the best way for me to explain it, I think California Adventure is a little more of like a teen park. There's more extreme rides. Personally, I think if you were to go out west with little kids and you could only do one, I'd say Disneyland over California Adventure, because I feel like a lot of the rides are a little more advanced and extreme, again, I say. So, I don't know, I guess to me, when I was like middle school through college, which was the majority of the time that I spent there, California Adventure was so much fun because it felt like they were more adult rides. That being said, at that time, I feel like there weren't as many rides there as there were in Disneyland, but I just read that recently with the Pixar Pier and everything, they've now equaled, they both have the exact same amount of rides and experiences that you can do.
I think there's what's the other ride? I was thinking of
also,
something
you
totally
can
different.
drink in California Adventure, so there's that too.
Well, you can drink in like Hollywood Studios, which is pretty much the same
We're
concept.
talking about the West Coast.
Okay, sorry.
So,
But yes, you can drink over at California Adventure.
Yeah.
And it's just, the cool thing that I like about California Adventure too is that even though it's one park, you walk through it and it feels like there's several different small parks.
Yeah.
Because they have an area that's similar to Hollywood Studios in Florida. Pixar Pier is unlike anything else you haven't really seen at Disney. So you have that, and plus you have Cars Land, which we'll talk about that a little bit too, because that probably was the coolest thing of my trip to Disneyland was Cars. Just because of how awesomely it laid out it was.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about some of that. But so before we kind of get into the new updates, what were some of your favorite things to do at California Adventure?
Okay, my top two was Tower of Terror.
Rest in peace.
I know, I miss you. I mean, we still get to go.
Well,
to
we still
Hollywood
get,
Studios,
yeah, we
but
still.
There's just something about going to the original. Tower of Terror and Soarin', because that was such a big deal.
Soarin'
over
is
there,
really
it's called
cool.
Soarin' over California. It's so much fun. It's different than the one in Walt Disney World at Epcot. So it's different. So go to both. But those were my two favorites. And I don't know, I used to love, if you're not familiar, Pixar Pier used to be called Paradise Pier. And I used to just love going. They had Toy Story Midway Mania there, which was always fun. So you still had that Pixar game, but it was more of like, I don't know, a boardwalk, which was kind of cool. But now so I can't really speak on it being in Pixar theme. I'm sure it's phenomenal. The pictures and videos I've seen sound really good, or look really good. But I used to love just walking around Paradise Pier. Also, another rest in peace moment. I used to love Ariel's Grotto.
We didn't get a chance to do that. We walked past it, but we didn't go.
Best lobster nachos, which I've heard they kept on the menu.
Did they?
Mm-hmm. It's now called Lamplight Lounge, which goes with Pixar, so I totally get it. But it was just such a great place. You could go eat, you could have drinks. I think the bar was called like the Cove or Cove something. Sorry, mom brain. But Ariel's Grotto was great. So
yeah, we didn't get a chance to go in there, which I know you raved about it because I remember when we first walked past it. First off, it was kind of sensory overload for me when you walked into which when we went there was Paradise Pier, like you said.
Yeah.
It was definitely sensory overload because I walked in, I was like, whoa, like there is so much going on.
Yeah.
You can see just everything part of Paradise Pier. You can see things off in the distance. That is Cars Land. Mm-hmm. You can see Tower of Terror at the time.
It's so much bigger than you think.
It really is. Honestly, when I didn't really think how big it was, and then I looked at an aerial view of it.
Yeah.
And it completely shocked me on
really
how big
big.
California Adventure really was. Mm-hmm. But what was the thing you said that they had? I was just trying to double lobster nachos.
Lobster nachos.
Okay, yeah, they do still.
Yeah, I
have
heard
it.
they're still on the menu. They were like the best snack in the park.
Yeah, they do still have it on the menu.
Okay.
So that actually looks pretty good, actually. I'm not going to lie. Yeah. So when we go back there, because we do want to go back and check out, Pixar Pier, mainly because I want to go to Bing Bong's candy shop.
Yes.
My
gosh, the pictures of everything that has come out of there are awesome.
If you guys have heard me before on the show, you know that like Bing Bong is one of my favorite characters.
He walks around the house just going Bing Bong.
Bing bong, bing bong.
Just like
I don't even know the song is cool, but Bing Bong is like one of my favorite characters, and the fact that he has his own candy shop is just absolutely amazing. There's actually a YouTube channel, YouTube star that I follow, Justin Scared, and he's actually, that's his home base is Disneyland.
Oh, I was like Bing Bong's candy shop.
Well, it is now. When they opened it, he went over there and did an episode for his YouTube channel, and legitimately 15 minutes of it was him standing there staring at Bing Bong. Like, I'm not kidding. Like, the whole time he was like, he kept trying to leave, and he's just like, I can't stop staring at Bing Bong. Which I would probably do the same thing because it is pretty awesome. But even just some of the other cool things, and they did keep a lot of stuff there as well, on top of including, because Toy Story Mania, it's still there.
Yeah,
they didn't get rid of it. The what was the ride? I know it's Incredicoaster now.
Rock and Roller Coaster.
No, it wasn't Rock and Roller Coaster.
Sorry,
it was like California
Screamin'.
Screamin'. California Screamin'. That's what it was.
Which was so amazing.
It's still it's literally the same exact ride. They just rethemed it to The Incredibles. Everything from the queue to the music, and now when you go through the tunnel, they have like they have like incredible stuff going on there.
Yeah.
So it's still the exact same ride. So so I can speak on that, and it is honestly one of the coolest roller coasters I think I've ever been on.
Yeah.
And I think the cool thing about it is the anticipation when you first walk, and which was Ariel's Grotto, which is now Lamplight Lounge. Mm-hmm. Is when you walk across there and you go over where you see the staging area, and then you hear the countdown and just.
It's so.
And if you've ever been on like Rock and Roller Coaster at Walt Disney World, it's a similar concept.
That's why I always mix the two up.
But it's a similar concept. It's one of those where you go from like 0 to 60.
Like, keep your neck back because we're shooting off.
But it was one of the coolest things, and then like obviously like picture wise, to kind of stand back on the other side of the pier, and get a really cool picture of the actual loop, which used to go around a face of Mickey. Now it actually goes around. I think it just says Pixar Pier now.
Yeah, they changed it.
Yeah, well, Mickey's still on the Ferris wheel, which we didn't go on that, but God, that thing looks freaky.
So I used to do it. It's actually really cool. You have the option to take a swinging cart or a non-swinging cart.
Oh, I didn't know that. Mm-hmm. Okay.
So the swinging carts are really fun, but if you get motion sickness or you have a fear of heights, well, you probably wouldn't be doing it. But if you have like any kind of a fear of anything like that, I would recommend the non-swinging cart.
See, I didn't know you can do a non-swinging cart. I thought it was just you're stuck with.
No, you have the option.
Okay.
I love the swinging ones. It's fun. It makes it more of a ride to me because I'm not a Ferris wheel kind of person. Although this is different. You get a really cool view.
What is? I'm trying to think. Okay, so you know that I hate like teacups.
Right.
What is it in relation to like sickness of a teacup?
No, it's not similar.
So I would be fine.
You would be fine. It's not it's not spinning. It's just
rocking a lot.
It rocks and then it kind of like zoom, like slides down.
Zoom.
Yeah, you guys got that right. Zoom.
If you hear another sound effects, the sound effect is our daughter sleeping. You can hear her breathing right now. So outside of the zooms, you'll hear that.
Zoom. No, it's nothing like teacups. I can't even explain it because it's not like a drop. It's not. I don't know. It just slides. You just kind of. Zoom. I keep wanting to do the noise to get you to understand what it is.
It must be cold in California right now because Incredicoaster is only 30-minute wait, where the Ferris wheel is 70 minutes.
It is.
And Toy Story Mania is 90.
It's been raining all week.
It has to be because that's 30-minute wait for Incredicoaster that's pretty much like walking the queue.
Yeah.
To the actual ride.
But just FYI, because I follow a lot of Disneyland and Disney World and all of them, like blogs and Instagrams. I've had a couple people that recently said that like even cast members were saying not to go to the parks on rainy days. That's so not true. California Adventure only closes a couple rides due to rain or impending weather. So, no, I think it's like the best time to go to the parks because it's not crowded and they don't close all the rides. So
I would totally do Disney on a rainy day.
This week would have been a great week to go because all the pages I've been following, like, people have taken advantage of it and it's been so empty, no crowds. But yeah, someone that I was following said that a cast member told someone like not to come on rainy days. Like, no, that's actually like the best time to go.
Yeah. I mean, I would like if I lived like anywhere near Disneyland or even Disney World and I saw a rainy day, I would probably go just for that reason, is that all the indoor rides, you know, you can pretty much walk right onto them.
Yeah. And you can just pull up the app when you're there. Disneyland has the same app as Disney World, and it works for Disneyland and California Adventure, and it'll just say temporarily closed if it's closed due to rain. But like I said, I think they only close like Golden Zephyr and a couple other rides. It's not... I think Incredicoaster stays open. The Cars Racers stays open. Like there's a lot that's the good rides stay open. And then there's a lot of indoor rides. Soarin' is completely indoor, so that's not going to close. Ariel is indoor, that's not closing. So
how was that Ariel? We didn't do that when we were there. Like,
it's almost the exact same as the one at Disney World.
Oh, it is.
I have to say I was so excited. So Ariel's one of my favorite characters. Little Mermaid is one of my favorite movies. I was so excited. I went the weekend that ride opened. Waited in line, and I was so disappointed.
Really?
No. Now I like totally love that ride, and I will always go on that ride. We do every time we go to Walt Disney World.
So it's similar to the one at Walt Disney World?
It's the same concept.
Oh,
but
really?
in my mind, I thought it was going to be like a ride, like exciting, a thrilling ride.
Not like you sit in a seashell and watch animatronics.
Not like sitting in a clamshell just floating on by.
That's the reason I do that ride. Like, people looked at us weird. Well, now they won't because we have a daughter, but... people looked at us weird when they were like weird to standing in line, just the two of us. But honestly, one, it's a great way to get out of the heat.
Yeah.
And number two, it's a great way just to get off your feet.
Yeah.
You know, because it's maybe a 15-minute?
Well, it's like the same. Right. It's the same thing as it's less than that.
Is it?
But it's like the same thing as, you know, Peter Pan or Nemo. Yeah. Like it's all the same concept. You can still. I just think in my mind, I thought it was going to be a thrilling ride. And it wasn't. And when it opened, we didn't have things like... we had Instagram, but it was, like, brand new. But there weren't these blogs and things like that where people would talk about what kind of ride it was going to be.
Yeah.
We didn't have the app. So you didn't know. But I went that opening weekend, and I remember being like, oh...
That's a bummer.
But I love that ride now. Now that I know what it is, I totally appreciate it for what it is.
Well, right next to that ride is probably my favorite food stand of that place. And that was the corn dog stand.
Like corn dog cart.
The cheddar cheese on a stick.
Yeah.
It literally...
That's why we didn't get lobster nachos, guys, because he was so excited about this damn corn dog.
Well, there was two corn dogs. The one of them was like the hot link corn dog.
The hot sausage one.
Yeah, it was the hot sausage corn dog, and then the other one was a cheddar cheese one, and it literally was just a chunk of cheddar cheese dipped in the cornbread and deep fried.
Yes, it was.
It was, let me tell you, it was a heart attack to eat.
It's like if you've ever been to Hot Dog on a Stick, it's a cheese on a stick. They sell that at Hot Dog on a Stick.
But it was so good. Like, when I think of like a pier, and I think of, I don't know, carnival, I guess you can say.
Yeah.
It definitely, that's what I think of when I think of a carnival.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. But anyway, so Pixar Pier, that's taken over for, Paradise Pier. We haven't seen it yet, but I do know that they did continue the World of Color light show.
Yes.
Which I'll post some pictures on our Instagram because I have some videos on my Snapchat from when we were there. Mm-hmm. And let me tell you, that show was unbelievable. Now, it was a Christmas one, the ones that I'll post. It was a Christmas show. But it was...
Last time we were there, it was Christmas time. Yeah.
Yeah, it was probably one of the coolest shows that I think I've seen in a while. It kind of, I think I mentioned it to you. It reminded me of the Mirage in Vegas. Their like little light show.
It's a water show.
Yeah, it's the exact same concept, just really, really cool.
Well, this is cooler than the one at the Mirage because the Mirage is just water and lights. This is like
lasers,
light done on the water. Yeah,
really
which
cool.
By the way, when World of Color first came out, this was like the first of its kind. Like it was a huge deal. And again, I think we went opening weekend or shortly after opening weekend for World of Color.
Yeah.
It was a big deal. Also,
cool.
Speaking of World of Color, they offer Fast Pass for World of Color. The queue is right outside of Ariel's ride.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I would 100% recommend getting a Fast Pass because now it's standing room only. So if you don't have a Fast Pass and you kind of don't, or you don't wait like an hour plus to get a seat, you're kind of screwed. Especially if you have kids with you, it's really hard to see.
Yeah,
so I would recommend getting a Fast Pass.
We kind of got lucky, but we did kind of have a bad view because we were over by the Zephyr.
Yeah.
But we kind of had a partial blocked view. But we did.
But imagine having kids with us.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
They wouldn't have been able to see.
Oh no.
So I'm just saying,
crazy.
Use your Fast Pass for that, and or like wait. You can wait like an hour plus. There's a couple good spots to look or to watch the show. The best is the blue zone, or yellow if you can get close enough. Also, you can, if you wanted to. I don't know if you'd really want to, but you can buy the dinner package, which is you are guaranteed a seat plus dinner. It's $79 a person though. So,
I mean,
I'm just putting it out there. So those are.
I think it's worth. I mean,
those are my tips for
yeah.
World of Color. I would just burn a Fast Pass on it. But...
See, this is why I brought her on the show for this one. I told her, I said, you can't skip this episode because I didn't even know there was color zones.
Yeah, and I just remember blue is the best, unless you can get like front row in yellow, but you've got to wait a while for that, or use a Fast Pass.
Well.
And the Fast Pass queue is outside of Ariel, if I remember correctly. I hope they didn't move it. It's been a while.
Yeah, I don't know if they. Yeah, I mean.
Okay, well, I'm telling you guys, the last time I was there, it was outside of Ariel. I think it still is.
Maybe. Anyways, let's move over to Cars real quick because
Yes.
God, like
Cars Land.
Cars was probably. I think there was the one area I remember I when I walked into the first time, my jaw dropped.
It is so fully immersive. It's unbelievable.
So it literally brings you into Radiator Springs, and they did such a good job separating it from which is now Pixar Pier.
Yeah.
They did such a good job separating it from that area and every other area because you literally walk into Radiator Springs and you feel like you're literally there, with all the cars.
It's so cool. They did such a good job with it.
I mean, they recreated everything too. They recreated Flo's Diner,
Luigi's Tire Shop,
Luigi's Tire Shop,
the Cozy Cone
Hotel,
Motel, yeah.
or Motel. Like they recreated everything on a grand scale, which for me just literally impressed me. And I remember I walked in and my jaw just dropped. And every time we spent a lot of time in California Adventure, I think that's why when I say I don't remember Disneyland.
Oh yeah, the other day he was like, I don't really remember a lot about Disneyland, but I do remember California Adventure. I'm like, what?
Well, we spent a lot of time at California Adventure because Disneyland was under construction. There was a lot of things closed because they just started breaking ground when we were there for Galaxy Edge.
Yeah.
So a lot of things were closed. We couldn't go to Toontown. We couldn't go to Small World.
Yeah, that's true. I forgot.
Yeah, there was a lot of things. Oh, the Alice in Wonderland's area, the maze and all that was closed.
I totally forgot.
So everything was closed when we were there. So all we did was the Matterhorn and, I think we did Pirates, Splash Mountain,
Indiana.
Big Thunder. So we did a lot of things, but I don't remember a ton of it. I do, like I said, I remember California Adventure more because we spent more time over there.
Yeah.
And
also because I was determined. Oh, sorry, the baby.
We just hit the baby in the head with a mic. Like,
oops. By we, he means me.
She's good.
What was I saying? Oh, I was so determined to get on Tower of Terror because they had announced, we went on December 26th and they had announced that on December 31st they were closing it for good because it was going to be
Gardens of the Galaxy.
Gardens of the Galaxy.
And they
I was
just
trying to say Galaxy.
And they actually, when we were there, they actually started changing
the facade
and and even the queue started. We noticed, or you pointed out because I had never ridden it before, but you pointed out that they started taking down a bunch of the
in the basement cellar area. They had already started changing out the pipes and stuff. But so we rushed over to California Adventure because I was like, even if we wait in line for 4.5 hours, we're doing it to say that we did it the week that it closed.
Yeah, which is cool.
Which we actually didn't even wait long.
No, the wait line actually didn't we write it? I think we wrote it twice.
We did, yeah.
Because the first time we ran over there, we didn't have the app.
They didn't. I don't think they had the app yet.
Maybe not, but. We didn't know what the times were, so we ran over there, and I think it was only like a 40-minute wait.
You also can't... Oh, wait, no, yeah, you can. Never mind. Sorry.
What?
Fast passes are different over there
Yeah,
than
because
they are
they're
in
not
Disney
called
World.
fast passes, are they?
They're fast passes, but it's a whole different system. They still do the cards. You can't like put them into your...
That's right.
There's no magic pans and stuff
Yeah, that's
like
right.
that. So it was different because you had to get to the queue to go print out your ticket.
That's right. I
So
forgot they don't
we
do
did a
magic
fast
bands.
pass for one.
Yeah,
one
but
at a time.
I do remember.
Anyways.
I do remember we did ride it twice. The first time we thought we were going to run over and have a line. It was only 40 minutes, so we basically went in and pretty much walked right on.
Yeah,
Because again, you got to remember
it was going to be like such a long time, but it wasn't.
Yeah, I don't know, but we did go the day after Christmas, which you think it would be busy.
Remember, Disneyland was busy, but California Adventure really wasn't.
No, it was pretty.
Which again, I think it goes back to all the little kids go to Disneyland, or they start out at California Adventure and you realize there's not much to do, so
That's
you take
true.
them over to Disneyland. So we had better luck at California Adventure than we did in
That's
Disneyland. Disneyland was packed.
Yeah, but it was cool to ride that ride one last time the week that it was closing, which was really cool. But let's go back to Radiator Springs real quick.
Right, I'm sorry.
Because we just got totally sidetracked. Radiator Springs, it literally shocked me on how just immersive it was.
Yeah.
The ride. Oh, and that was the thing too. Is I was telling you from Pixar Pier, is you can see part of Cars Land.
Yes.
And the cool thing that they did that I loved is that the mountain range was I think there was like 3 or 4 of them that made up their mountain range, and they were like the tail or the rear end of old 50s Cadillacs.
Like spoilers, yeah.
Yeah. Like the little fenders and the tail lights and all that stuff. And that was like the mountain range, which was cool. And you can see that from Pixar Pier, which for me, I was like, what is that? And you're like, that's Cars. I'm like, oh, we got to go over there.
Which it was still fairly new
it was.
when we went.
Yeah, I mean,
It
I don't know.
wasn't new, but it was
No.
still fairly new.
Yeah, but they had so many cool things. The Radiator Springs Racers.
That's
didn't have
the best ride.
Yeah, we didn't have a chance to do it. I think it was shut down for a while.
Did we not do it?
No, remember it was shut
well,
down.
I've done it. It's amazing.
Well, we were gonna do it, and then they had the ride closed for a while.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it was closed for almost 2 hours.
I remember now.
And then the only reason I know that is because we tried riding it during the day, and then we went over to Disneyland to do some stuff. That we came back over to California Adventure, and it was already nighttime. That's when we walked through at nighttime.
It reminds me a lot of Test Track. I don't know if
It is.
told
It's
you
very
that.
similar to
Yeah,
Test
okay.
Track. Now I don't know what the actual ride entails inside.
It's similar.
But I do know the whole the concept of you're in a speeding
Go
car,
as fast as you can.
but you race. I think you race another car though, don't you?
You do, yeah.
That's what I thought. But yeah, it's really
sorry. I felt like we did it.
no. We tried to. But yeah, I mean, it's just really cool. I love, you got Mater's Junkyard.
Yeah, there's a couple other rides. Mater's Junkyard is fun, but it's kind of like Teacups. If you get sick on Teacups, you might not enjoy Mater's Junkyard.
Yeah, we didn't get a chance to do that.
Just FYI.
But they have the
There's a Luigi ride.
it's Luigi's Rollickin' Roadsters, which is
That's
like
fun.
a bumper car.
Yeah, that one's fun. It's cute.
But yeah, it's just, I mean, it was just, even just to walk the streets of Radiator Springs was just really cool. Because
sorry.
no, I was just saying they have all a bunch of characters too. So
Yeah.
throughout the day they bring out, kind of like Hollywood Studios did for a while, which I think they're going to bring back with the new
Yeah, we were just talking
the
about
Cars
that.
ride. But
They drive around the cars.
yeah, they drive around. They have Mater that's come out and drives, Lightning McQueen. I think we saw a couple other characters as well, but I don't remember exactly which ones. But it was really cool. I liked it.
I was going to say the Cozy Cone has a cafe, a little walk up, and they sell really, really good snacks. There's a mac and cheese cone that I highly recommend. So
Yeah, and it is really
or a
cool.
pizza and a cone too. So just FYI.
They got churros and ice cream and all those other things. Yeah, here it is right here. Bacon mac and cheese in a bread cone.
In a bread cone. That's
And
what
they
it
have
is.
a chili cone queso. Oh, they're clever. Yeah, but it's just a really cool area, and I absolutely loved it. And I do want to go back and spend some more time in that area just because of just how cool and I guess you could say immersive it was.
Yeah.
And I would love to go back, honestly, and stay at Grand Californian.
Oh, yeah. Well, so Grand Californian has an entrance as well.
Right into the park.
You can get into the park straight from Grand Californian.
It was just so, like, it was... I remember when we walked... Because I think when we first went in there, I think we did Soaring first, I believe. Or we went... Soarin'. When we went in, I believe
yes, we went
right first.
It's right there, yeah.
And I remember seeing the hotel, and I was just like blown away with how cool the hotel was because it's it's like a wilderness lodge, and based off that original 2000 commercial that I played a little bit earlier, in the commercial they send Buzz over, and he approaches a big bear mountain,
bear,
and so the park originally kind of had that outdoors like wildlife type of feel to it, and that whole area has that with the Grand Californian and what's the ride Grizzly River Run.
Yeah. Grizzly River Run, which currently is under refurbishment till March, but one of my favorite rides. It's a water ride. You get soaked. There's also the Redwood Trail.
The challenge.
Thank
Redwood
you.
Creek.
Yeah. So much fun. But that's the same concept. It's that wilderness, lodgy kind of national park feeling.
Yeah, everything is everything is outdoors, like wilderness there.
The
which is
Redwood
really cool.
Creek Challenge Trail is so much fun. We used to do that all the time in college.
And
it's like a big, I don't know.
It's a challenge course.
Maze.
Yeah, it's a challenge course.
That's a much better way to put it.
They have, like cargo nets and, like little bridges and all this different stuff. It's
so
just like a little
fun.
challenge course, which looked really cool. And
it's really fun.
I remember walking through there, and there wasn't, I think when we were there, the actual river ride was closed too, because we were there right after Christmas. So it seems like they closed that down in the winter, apparently, to do refurbishments.
I think it always needs refurbishments. I think any water ride does.
Yeah.
And I think that's the best time to do it, even though it's not really ever cold in California. But I think if you're going to do it, you might as well do it.
I think it'd be
December,
fun.
January,
I would like
February.
to go back. I would like to go back and be able to, do the river run because, me at Animal Kingdom, I love the Cali River Rapids.
Yeah.
I love that ride, and it looks very similar to the Cali River Rapids in a way. So let's talk about some tips for people because, again, it is a big area. But it's not like gigantic. It's not like Walt Disney World where we can talk about like 4 different parks. What are some of your tips? What is your advice? Because you've been there. I don't want to give any tips.
I just gave you all my tips.
You have to have more.
God, no. Now you've really put me on the spot here.
Well, I figured you would have some tips.
I totally recommend doing the bakery tour at the Pacific Wharf. You get to learn how they make San Francisco sourdough bread, and spoiler alert, they have amazing bread bowls for soup. So
where is it at?
Pacific Wharf. It's in the pier. Yeah, it's kind of where we ate. There's like that central area. There's a couple different restaurants you can pick from. We went to the Mexican restaurant. No, I went to the Mexican restaurant and got a margarita. You went to the Chinese restaurant.
I went to Lucky Fortune.
Mm-hmm. It's called Pacific Wharf or Pacific.
Oh, I see it right there.
Yeah.
Pacific Wharf Cafe.
There you go. And you can do bakery tours there. And they teach you how to make San Francisco sourdough bread.
What?
And they sell sourdough bread bowls and soup.
How do we not do that?
Right, we had a lot on our list.
Well, I want to do that next time. And you can buy bread to go.
Yes.
You could buy a loaf or a sourdough round for $5.19.
So that one's really fun to do.
Is it similar like the sourdough that you actually brought me back from San Francisco?
Yeah, from Borden. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. I want.
It's the same.
Same thing.
Same thing.
I want that all the time.
Also, enjoy an adult beverage while you're there. They have a lot of fun drinks.
Rita's Baja Blenders. That's where I got my drink from.
What's the new one they just released? The adult grape soda?
We're at Rita's?
No. Just in California Adventure in general. I think it's like adult grape soda or something like that.
I'll be honest, I'm not sure. I don't even know where that would even be at.
I'm going to go with it's adult grape soda.
Probably.
They just it's a new product. But there's a lot of fun adult beverages there. I really enjoy the margaritas. So.
Oh, I know what I wanted to talk about.
What'd you want to talk about?
This is like one of those like light bulbs.
Yeah, you just had
Well, because there was something I wanted to talk about, so I was diverting by asking you to give more tips.
Oh, that was rude.
Yeah.
You really put me on
I
the
forgot
spot.
about the brand new show that they unveiled that they're bringing to Mexico Pavilion at Epcot now too, which is the Coco Show.
Oh. How did we... Okay, yes.
You know what I, like...
Yeah, I don't know how we...
Well, you know what reminded me is our outro music. I looked at the outro music for this episode and I was like, oh my gosh, the Coco. They have this amazing show now and they're bringing it to the Mexico Pavilion at Epcot.
Right, we kind of touched on that a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, we did. But they're it started at California Adventure.
Okay.
And it's just this really cool show with puppeteers. And it's kind of like the puppeteers where they have the puppets actually attached to them. So when they walk, the puppet walks.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to say, I mean, they're life-size characters.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're 3 feet tall, 5 feet tall, whatever. But it's just this really cool show. And they sing like the Un Poco Loco and the Familia song. And we just watched Coco the other day. So
it's like our house because that's all we're doing right now is walking around the house singing Un Poco Loco.
Well, we have a lot of time on our hands, just like hanging out at home with a sleeping baby. So we've been watching a lot of Disney movies, which is why we need Disney Plus to come out later this year. So we could just sit here and binge watch Disney movies. But yeah, so if you guys are at California Adventure and you guys are able to catch this show, I've watched the show on YouTube. Disney or Disneyland itself actually released, like when it first debuted, they released a whole thing about it. And it is just a really cool, like, show to watch. And they just do it right there in the open.
I was just about to ask you, where do you watch it?
Where I saw it last time was, I'm trying to remember, like, the little area, but there's, like, when you come into the main entrance, remember where we saw Donald Duck? There's, like, a little, like, roundabout area. Do you know what I'm talking about? Does that make sense? It's, like, it's in the center right before you get over to, like, the little boulevard. You know, like little, like the Hollywood Street there.
Hollywood Boulevard. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the video that I saw showed that it was over in that area. And again, I'm not sure if it stays in that same area or if they move it around different parts of California Adventure, but it just looked really, really cool. And I can't wait for it to come to Epcot because I really want to see this show, and I think it looks awesome. But that's pretty much California Adventure. If you guys are there and you guys have anything else like different that we didn't point out, because we haven't seen the...
Well, and like we said, it's been a while. The last time we went was when Tower of Terror was closed.
Yeah, and like I said, yeah, we
or like
so
it was taken away from us.
We
So
haven't
that was
even
2 Christmases ago.
We haven't even seen Pixar Pier yet. They, I don't even think they were even starting. No, they were starting construction a little bit. There was a couple areas, but that was it. I mean, there wasn't really anything major yet. So we haven't seen Pixar Pier. And they took Bug's Life away. So yeah, but I do have to say though, I think it's gonna be awesome. They're turning the whole area into a Marvels area.
Right.
Right now they have walls up that says Stark Enterprises. So there's something cool coming. We don't know what, but there's something cool coming.
It's always cool.
So while we're on the subject real quick before we end this episode, couple updates for you over at Disney or Downtown Disney since we're here.
Yes.
Splitsville is officially open.
Right.
And
So
also
is
Ballast Point
Yes.
Brewery, which I'm really excited about, which I can't wait to go back for because Ballast Point is one of my favorite breweries. I think I've mentioned it on another episode before. But they have...
and we love Splitsville in Disney Springs.
Oh, yeah. And Splitsville has great food on top of the actual entertainment value as well. So those are
great frozen cocktails.
Absolutely. Oh, the frozen cocktails are the best part. But those are 2 really cool additions that is there in the new downtown Disney area. So if you guys are there, go check them out. They're kind of revamping the whole downtown Disney and putting some new stuff in, which is really cool. Hey, but real quick, for the people that are out there, she's taking a selfie of her and the baby right now. Was the Tortilla Joe's? Was that there originally, or is that new?
Tortilla Joe's.
Yeah.
Can you give me a location?
It's over, like, kind of where you go to, like, the monorail station on the way to Disneyland Hotel. It's like the very first thing that you come into when you get to downtown.
I honestly don't know.
Well, I want to try that next time we go there too because
Okay.
they look really good. That's where I was going with that.
Oh, okay.
We didn't really talk about food too much on this episode, so
Sorry.
we had to talk about
do a
some
whole
food.
episode about California food.
We will. But for now, that's all we really got to talk about with California Adventure. Casey is just going to keep taking selfies for the next couple minutes.
You just keep talking.
And the baby's waking up anyway. So, but that's it for California Adventure. Thank you so much for listening. We have some really cool episodes coming up. I'm going to have my sister on who's going to help talk about Tokyo Disney. And then we also have another friend that we're trying to get on the show who has been to a bunch of them. Hong Kong, Paris.
Yeah, she's done
a ton
Shanghai.
of Shanghai. She's been to a ton of Disneys across the world. So we're going to try to get her on the episode as well, or an episode, and kind of talk about it and much, much more. So stay tuned to explorethemouse.com, where you are going to find a ton of different information regarding upcoming episodes. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. What else are we on? I don't even know. And check us out on iTunes, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. Yeah. Thank you so much, and we look forward to seeing you guys again in another episode.
Sounds good. See you next week, guys.
Bye-bye.
Ay mi amor, que es rojo dices tú, ay mi amor, ves todo al revés, ay mi amor, creo que piensas con los pies, ay mi amor, tú me traes un poco loco, un poquitito loco, estoy adivinando qué quieres y pa' cuándo.